Okay. I think the video's recording, right? Okay, good. Anyway, this is a random video. Once again, we are back here with another IRL type of video. So, I mean, that's pretty cool, I guess. Anyway, I'm here to make a little bit of a rant video. I'm tired. But I'm not tired of YouTube. This isn't I'm leaving or anything like how I usually make it, but I never end up leaving. Instead, I just kind of want to talk about it and upload it, because sometimes that just lets everything out. So here we go. I'm not gonna give the full story because I do know that, you know, these people still need their privacy, so I'm not going to say their names or anything like that. But I'm sure some of you may have noticed that the channel has kind of been kind of down since Random Shadow left. And that's because she was the main reason why the channel was going so popular, not because of her viewers or anything. It was just the excitement she brought to the channel. But outside of that, there weren't really that much problems until an argument with another good friend of mine that you guys may have seen in a few of my videos, Maximus the Cyborg, or whatever his username is still called on YouTube, but I'll just call him Max for short. Now, Max, he's kind of an idiot. He knows he's an idiot, so I don't think he should yell at me for saying that. He does a lot of stupid things, and that causes disagreements with the group. At the time, I agreed to my friend, who we'll just call Flutterbat because they really like the character. We made an agreement that we weren't going to talk to him and we weren't going to invite him to the party. Although we couldn't fully guarantee the talking part, we were going to make sure he was no longer in this party. I've known Max to this point like 6 to 5 years, 5.5 maybe, and then Flutterfan's like 5.5 too. Well, no, I've known Max a year longer than Flutterfan. Flutterfan is around 5 and Max is 6. So yeah, I've known him for that long, so when it comes to, oh, I have to stop talking to him, I kind of have to stop inviting him to parties, okay, well, I kind of did not listen at all. I kind of just said, hey, yeah, so I'm going to do my own thing. I'm just going to invite him anyway, which I did. And I regret it in some way. I regret just inviting him. I could have still talked with him, and I could have still, you know, hung out with him and had him in my channel. It's just the party that was the problem. I broke that promise, and things started going downhill. Because I broke that promise, friendships started to kind of dimmer down. It's just like as if we were no longer friends at that point, just in that moment, at that second. Because we couldn't really trust each other, it seemed like, now that we broke, or that I broke the promise. There is no we, it was only me. But at the same time, I had so much terrible things going on. I'm finally over Random Shadow. She's not a part of the channel. At least, I don't think she will be anymore. It's still not really figured out. And me and her are no longer together. That wedding that I had planned, that's clearly been canceled. I don't know if I've ever made that announcement, but it's canceled. And yeah, this argument started the downfall of our friendship, I guess, because after this argument, I no longer talked to Random Shadow, and I no longer talked to Flutterfan. Random Shadow had a little bit of a crisis that was going on, and I decided to comfort her. But I won't say what the problem was. I'll just say that this is an opinion, maybe. She wasn't really giving good reasons of why she was upset at that time. And then there was me, who was pretty upset. I don't really need to give full context to really say it. I went to the hospital for 3 whole days, and I was pretty much living there in a little bit of a residential place, doing treatment because of my mental health. And that conversation kind of triggered it, because all I could think about is, why are you upset? There's not really much going on here. But regardless, I still wish the best for her, obviously, and I don't want anything bad to happen to her. I just think it was a little bit silly. I'm pretty disappointed in myself, though, because eventually I got so upset and my mental health was so bad, even after coming back from the hospital, that I still continued making up lies. I actually got worse than I was before. Because of that one thing, I started to get worse and worse and worse, and it was because I think I was doing better, but I wasn't. Instead, I started pretty much shit-talking this friend of mine. A friend I knew for 5 years, I started talking crap about. And I wasn't really hiding it that much. I was always telling another friend of mine, who will be important here in a minute, Luna is what we'll call her, and I'm pretty sure she would just straight up tell Flutterfan exactly what I say. And that destroyed our friendship. He no longer wants to hear from me anymore, so, I mean, cool, I guess. It's very disappointing, but I guess cool. I still have Max around, but I don't really want him much in the channel and all of that stuff. I just have him around for the story and all of that, because he really did cause this whole thing, and I just kept going with it. Currently, it has affected my uploading. I haven't been uploading too much still. However, the projects I'm working on weren't going to take a day or two to make anyway. However, I'm still taking too long. Those will get updated soon, or uploaded, but now I'm going to talk about Luna and why she's important. Now, she is one of my girlfriends. One of my girlfriends, I say, because there is 2 people I'm dating. We'll just call the other girl C for now. It's the first initial of her name, C. And we'll call Luda. C is one of my girlfriends, and Luna was my other girlfriend at the time. And the reason why I was with Luna, it was because she was going through a mental health thing. And I wanted to be there to help her. And just like how I was doing that with Luna, Corey was there to help with me. I just said her name anyway. Ugh. I just won't say her last name. Anyway, when I was talking all this stuff to Luna, she eventually did tell Flutterfan, and Flutterfan said he didn't want to really speak to me anymore. It's hard to figure out if she was using me or not, because we had a pretty good relationship, and then she suddenly just wasn't happy. It felt familiar because the same exact thing happened between me and Random Shadow. And the reason why I say the exact is because of who she started to fall for. Just like how Random Shadow fell for Flutterfan, or Flutterbat, the person she's with, Luna started falling for Flutterbat as well. And she left. She left completely, didn't want to say why, but that is exactly why. I kept calling her out on it, and she's like, oh no, that's not the reason why. Why would you think that? Though it's pretty obvious. This rant isn't like about complaining or anything. I'm through it. I've moved on from Random Shadow. I'm pretty sure. And I moved on from Luna. I'm also pretty sure. Now, Luna had access to some information because I wanted her to play Ash's Town with me and possibly even get into filming with me. Instead, she used that information, that same login, to log into another account I made for a friend because he keeps fucking getting his accounts lost, or he just keeps getting them merged. Because one of his accounts merged with mine on Town. Anyway, she used that login, logged into Max's account, deleted every single OC of his, and deleted all of his friends. I don't think I could really fully forgive her for that, but I don't fully blame her either because of what Max has also done with her. I just think it's silly that you would go and log on to not even Max's account. It's technically my account because it was my information that I gave to Max so he could keep playing, and you deleted everything. That's immature. And she doesn't even want to talk about it. She just left, didn't say anything, and she spies on me. I will say this last because I know for a fact that these people who I'm talking about aren't going to watch this video, or at the very least aren't even going to fully watch the video. So I mean, it's a win-win either way because it's just a rant. But I sit on docks on Town. I'm always sitting there AFK, but I could see my screen on 24/7 too. It's not off. Usually it's off when I sleep, but when I'm awake, I could always see it. And usually when I'm awake around this time, around 8 to 11, and I'm sitting on docks, I will see her walk up to me, sit there, and pretend like she's just another Town player, just casually watching me. She isn't the only person to do that though, because Flutterfan would also come to docks. I remember at one point I was in a call with Corey, trying to cheer her up a little bit, and suddenly I see Flutterfan come onto the main island, something he never actually does, mind you, because there's nothing really going on in the main island. He only does that when it's like events, pretty much, like collecting eggs, collecting candy, or collecting Christmas presents, which it isn't really that time. I mean, he could have been meeting friends up, but at the same time, he went to docks and he was sitting there for 3 to 5 minutes, and then he disappeared to what I assume was back to Party Island. But he was in a spot where you could still see me. I assume they will know where my spot is. I'm always on docks anyway. But I do want to speak with them. I don't know if they're trying to contact me, but they don't really need to stalk me. Now, final thing. Me and Corey wanted to have a night where we just talk about what happened, process things, because I don't really like how things are going. I do, but I don't. It's hard to say. I've moved on, but I don't want to lose my friends. When I was with Random Shadow, the reason why we were doing so good is because we were like friends but with extra steps, you know? Like, what I would typically do with friends is play video games, record videos, and chat and talk about my books and my next upcoming videos. However, with Random Shadow, when we were in the relationship, it was pretty much that, except we would call like 24/7, pretty much. And we would watch movies. It's pretty much why I'm upset. It's because ever since we started dating, we lost that good connection, and that also broke a connection I had with Flutterfan, or Flutterbat. And a part of me wanted to say for the longest time that I didn't regret saying that I had a crush on her, but now I do regret it, because I'm losing all my friends. I'm probably gonna lose my channel. I don't know what to do, and that's why I regret it. Regretting doesn't mean I can actually do anything about it. It's just already happened, and all I can sit back and relax, but there's not really any relaxing. I'm just chilling, I guess. Flutterfan was my bestest friend. Flutterbat, excuse me. If they're even watching this video, which I know they're probably not, the last thing that I will say, because I just have to say it, I don't know if they're actually going to respond or anything. They don't talk to me anymore. They don't want to talk to me anymore, it seems like. So hopefully they watch this video, and if they do, yay. Hi there. Anyway, I no longer own the Jokester OC. Anything that's left of the Jokester stuff on my channel is still going to be there, including some of the Jokester lore. But the OG Jokester design, because that's usually what I had my friends copy, is no longer mine. I'm resigning that OC, and I'm giving that OC to my friend Flutterbat. Friend, I don't even know if we're still friends. Ugh. But I'm giving that friend... I did it again. I'm giving them the OC, and they're going to keep it. I'm deleting the originals, but I'm keeping the remakes. The remakes are my OCs. They're still my Jokesters. The originals, those are your Jokesters. You own that Jokester, and it's a whole completely different Jokester. So win-win. You can just keep the OC. That's the final thing I wanted to say, because I know that our friendship isn't going to be fixed, and I know that he's never going to really delete the OC. So I'm just giving him what he wants. The OC. So he can have it. He owns it. I'm no longer doing anything with that OC. The videos are I'm keeping that up there. But as of now, that jokester no longer exists. Could exist in his universe or his lore, whatever, if he even makes stories or anything like that. But that is no longer my OC. Diana is my main OC, my OG OC. Has always been my OG OC. I've never used Jokester as my main OC. At least not that version. Anyway, I'm just really tired of this biting. I'm just tired that I don't get to talk to my friends this late at night, because usually at this time, 11:32 p.m., typically I would get on Ponytown and I would talk to this friend Flutterbat, but he's no longer around. And all my friends now currently who are here, they're typically asleep around this time. I put this on myself. I'm not gonna say that I didn't. I kept putting it on myself. I made it worse, and I only made it worse. I kept on going with making it worse. And I am the horrible friend. I used to say that Flutterbat was the horrible friend, and he's treating us bad, and all of that. That might as well have been self-talk. I might as well have been talking about myself, because that's all I was doing. I was being a bad friend. I pushed Random Shadow away, and I didn't want to believe that, but I did. I pushed her away. And I regret that too. But like by 50%. Because if it never happened, I wouldn't be with Corey. And Corey's better. She maybe doesn't have the same looks that Callie does, but that doesn't really bother me. She actually walks dogs for money, so she knows how to get money, she knows how to use that money, and she knows how to budget. She's smart, and her interests are very, very great. She loves Sonic. I used to love Sonic a lot when I was a kid, and I love it still even now. But I'm not gonna say that I didn't wish that things didn't work out between me and Random Shadow, and at that between me and Flutterbat, because things were looking great. I was Polly, Random Shadow was Polly, I'm pretty sure Void was Polly, but that doesn't mean that he had to necessarily make us all go away. And I'm not going to say he made me go away. I technically, once again, am admitting, I pushed Callie away. And that's because I wanted Flutterfan to have Callie. She didn't want me. And it was clear every single day. And eventually she had to break up with Void, which was also disappointing to hear, because at that point I wasn't talking with Flutterfan and I wasn't talking with Random Shadow. She used to be polyamorous, but because Flutterbat wasn't, he had to make sure that she wasn't, because if she was, in his books, that would be cheating. And I don't blame him either. But anyway, that's pretty much the end of the rant. This was something I made for him, but I don't even know if it's worth it to even have anymore. It's not even hanging on my wall. This is pretty much what our friendship turned into. It's just this. That is what our friendship turned into. Anyways, thanks guys for watching my little rant video, if you even fully watched the video. Here's Flutterbat's eye. Congratulations. That was a waste of time to make. Just like the 5 years, because I know that you're not really going to respond to this video, and you're not going to really listen to me. You're going to act like you're listening to me, and I should just accept that it's all over, because I'm starting to accept everything already. So, yeah. That's the end of the rant. Thank you guys. I'm tired.